Okay, sure. Hello guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel. And today I have a very, 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 very special guest. His name is Pheko Tsotetsi. For those that don't know, Pheko Tsotetsi is my younger brother. And as you can probably see with the title of the video, so I'm talking to a quant. In bank terminology, they call them quants. He's currently working for one of the big four banks in South Africa. And yeah, we're just going to be chatting about his role, in corporate. And I just want to, just find out from him, or how is it going, you know, if maybe one of you guys want to follow this path, you know, I want to give you guys some gold nuggets. I want to give you guys, like information basically that you can use in terms of, following the same career path line. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this video. My brother, how are you doing, bro?
Hey, Kings and the men. No, thanks. Thanks for having me on the channel, man. I would like to say this is a dream come true, but yeah. um,
What do you mean?
yeah. No, but thanks for having me, and yeah, greetings
What?
to all your fans out there. So
Oh,
yeah,
wait. What do you
yeah.
mean dream come true?
Hey, my man, it's good to be out there.
Yeah,
I mean, the channel is starting out. It's
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like that you are doing this. So it's good to be here, man.
Ah,
And
no, thanks
yeah,
a lot. Thanks a lot.
I'm,
Thanks a lot, bro. How's
yeah.
life? How's everything?
Ah, life is okay, man. Taking it one day at a time. What can we say? One day at a
Mm.
time, pushing through, doing work, pushing
Yeah.
this life thing. But yeah, I think it's all good on my side. And on your side?
Mm. Nah, nah, nah. Same here. Same here. You know, man. We keep pushing, like you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
We
good.
keep pushing. We take it day by day.
Definitely.
Take it day by day. How's it going? How's it going? How are they treating you there?
Right,
At,
right.
yeah, at work there. How's the
I
new
mean,
role?
it's because like I recently just started with this new role. So
Mm.
man, it's a steep and a sharp learning curve.
Yeah.
Like they threw me in the deep end.
Mm.
I feel like almost every day I'm learning something new. So
Mm.
it's just been that it's just how it's been the past few weeks, few months. And yeah, I
So,
think but I mean, like, I'd rather be at work than to be somewhere
yeah,
else. I think
yeah,
it's keeping my mind active and all of that. So it's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's proper. That's proper. That's proper, bro. That's
Yeah.
proper. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted you to actually like explain to the viewers out there. Ne?
Mm.
I might be getting it wrong because when I started the video, I said that you are a quant. Ne? I just
Uh-huh.
want you to maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Like, what is your actual title at work?
So, because I started at the bank last year as a graduate. So when I joined the graduate, the title that I had was a quantitative analyst graduate. So,
Mm.
and then yeah, that whole year I was a grad until recently in May. I joined my new team as a market risk analyst. So yeah, that's basically my role at the moment. So yeah, I'm no longer a quant. I'm now a market risk analyst. So
Okay,
yeah,
so when you started out, you were a quant,
I started out as a quant, but I mean, like, the work that
as a
we
quant.
do is still quantitative. So you can still say I'm a quant, but the
Okay,
job title on paper, it's called a market risk analyst.
market
So
risk
yeah,
analyst. I get you. I get
um,
you. I get. So
yeah.
so there's no difference between the two. It's just semantics, basically.
I mean, you could say that, but there are some differences between the two roles. I feel like a quant is more of a general term for anyone who studied something that's quantitative at university and
Mm,
then pivoting into work. Even in the
mm,
workspace, they're doing something that's very quantitative, So
mm,
I think we would just generalize that person to be a quantitative analyst. But a
mm,
quantitative analyst they can tap into different spaces, and from there then become we have different roles. But I mean, like the
mm.
work is still quantitative in a way, so we could
In a way.
still call quants, in a way. Yeah.
Dope. Also, it's actually like in business analysis or let me say
Yes.
industrial engineering, there's like
Yeah.
there's like guys that you call process engineers. I don't know if you guys have them
Mm.
there or you in whatever way.
Mm.
You might not work with them because you are like you are like on the quantitative, the tech guys there, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so. But like
Um.
what I was trying to say is that there's like they call them process engineers, and then there's
Yeah.
business analysts. On paper,
Mm-hmm.
like those people, it's like you know if a
They're
person
doing.
says process, like if a person says I'm a process engineer at a bank or at a financial institution, it's
Yeah.
90% of 90% of the time, it's likely that they are also doing business analysis work. But then you may be
Mm.
called an engineer, Bubble.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like that. It's within the same field, like what you were saying. It's like industrial engineering, but then there's process engineering as well as business analysis. Bubble. Those guys,
Mm.
they can do like one can do the other person's job, and the other one can
Yes.
do the other one's
Yes.
job.
So one of those terms is like more of a generalization of the other
Exactly.
terms, and then whereas the other ones is more like a specialization into that discipline or whatever. Like
Exactly.
I think I understand what you say.
Away. Now, let's get into the video, bro. So I just want you guys, I want you to like, to sort of like talk about your upbringing, like
Mm.
your, where you went to school, like primary school as well as like high school. Abo. Like,
Okay.
how was your upbringing like, and like your school life? Just briefly touch on that.
Okay. Um. So yeah. I'm from Kwakwa. So it's a town in the Free State, the Eastern Free State to be specific. So I grew up there. I was born there. I grew up there. So even the schools I attended were in the same area. So I did my primary school like it was right across home actually, the school that I went to. So I used to peep at school first, then see what's happening, and then just go to school in primary. So that was
Mhm.
from grade 1 to 7. And
Mhm.
then after that, I then went to the high school. Like it was around 10 minutes walk from home as well. So the school I went to was the Beacon Secondary School. So yeah, that's where I matriculated as well. Yeah, I think from primary school to high school, like yeah, I think I've just always been interested in sciences and everything like that has to do with yeah, like laws, what we do in high school, man. Like yeah,
Sure.
I enjoyed physical sciences, life sciences, all those things. So
Yeah.
uh even that also influenced my decision when I got to pick my subjects in grade 10. So yeah, I
Mm,
think the upbringing it was good at home. I feel like they sort of like cultivated that culture of you
mm.
must study, you must push
Yeah.
yourself. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I also learned that from you as my big bro. You know,
Oh,
I know you were killing it there in high school, so I was like, hey, when
uh,
I get there, I also wanna push like I also wanna
I,
push like him,
I,
So that's what happened. So yeah, man, it's that's the
okay.
gist of it.
Ah, that's nice. That's nice, bro. That's nice. You're the one killing the courses, the subject. Me, I was just there playing soccer. I didn't do much.
But
I
yeah,
know. Nah, that's great. That's great. That's great. So can you talk about like the subjects that you did at high school? I know at high school level, like there's commerce and then there's sciences. Can you just
yeah.
briefly talk about the ones that you chose and why you chose to go into science and how that
Mm.
actually helped you in terms of the career path that you wanted to do?
Yeah. Like I just previously said right now, like in grade 10, I had a choice between science and commercial subjects. And I felt
Mm,
like in grade 9, I wasn't that person that enjoyed EMS that much. So I was like,
mm,
yeah, because I feel like there's EMS and then there's natural sciences. I think those are the two streams that
yeah,
feed
yeah,
into
yeah,
these two disciplines. So I enjoyed natural sciences more than I did
yeah,
enjoy EMS. So
yeah.
it was an easy decision for me to decide to say, yeah, I'm going to choose sciences over over EMS. But also the
Mm.
decision that drove that was the fact that I also wanted to do engineering.
Oh,
Um, yeah, so and I knew that okay, the sciences are sort of like a prerequisite into getting into
mm.
engineering. So yeah, that's what pushed that's what drove the decision to be honest. Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so I want you. I know that in high school, right? There's like this program called Quant. Like
Oh,
I know that you were part of it. I was also part of it. Like, can you just briefly maybe touch on the important the importance of that, you know,
yeah,
in high school, especially like for high school learners, like how important was it in terms of you actually, being able to qualify to get into university and just
yeah,
preparing you for, um, yeah, your exams and everything like that, preparing
mm,
you to be actually, competent in mathematics
yeah.
and those important subjects.
Mm. Yeah, I think Utano played a very pivotal role in my development at high school.
Mm,
Because like over and above what we're getting at school, we were getting extra lessons during the weekend. So it was
mm,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So in grade 10, you only attended on Friday, grade 11, Friday and Saturday, and then grade 12, you attended the whole weekend. So I think um that sort of like drilled and instilled the concepts even
mm,
more because like we were
mm,
already being taught maths and physical science at school.
mm.
And maybe if you don't understand the teacher at your school, you still had an opportunity to hear it from someone who's different at
Yeah,
Kutlwano. And that
yeah,
was a very that was sort of like a privilege that I feel like most of us were lucky to get to have, So it really helped me a lot in terms of like understanding the concepts and just hearing it from different people. Also engaging with the students around the whole community. I think it was
yeah,
something
yeah,
amazing. But I think also one thing that I really liked from Kutlano was the fact that like they sort of like awarded good performance. So in a
yeah.
way,
That's a very
so I
important.
think that awarding of good performance sort of like motivated us more to even want to
Yeah,
do better. So there's also this thing called weekend away that they had in grade 12, whereby like they would take everyone
uh,
across the top people from all the centers in South Africa, take them to Cape Town. I think because I had an opportunity to attend that. I think that was very it was very eye-opening in terms
Yeah, I
of
remember.
and
Oh,
very
yeah, I remember.
inspirational as well. To see Cape Town in grade 12, like
Yeah.
all expenses paid, and you know that you only got here because of the hard work that you put in. I think that was
Mm.
something that was very motivating and very, yeah, I would say it played a very pivotal role in my studies in high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very like important, I feel like, point that you raised there, that
Mm.
they rewarded you for good performance. And
Yeah,
that's something that motivates you, especially at high
exactly.
school level, you know,
Yeah,
work hard, get those good
yeah.
marks, go. Yeah, I know that's dope.
Like,
Okay, so I want you to just briefly touch on like tips that you can give to high schoolers, ne? If they want
mm,
to if they want to excel at school, like what sort of like what tips can you give them to do well, in their studies and
yeah.
get those good marks. Yeah. What would you say is
Mm.
like, your top tips that you can give them?
Okay. I think in high school it's fairly like it's okay. I would say maybe a tip I would give to the high schoolers would be to focus on the work, man. Because I feel like it's very easy to get swayed into
Mm,
other things, to
mm,
want to be involved in, like, to be known in school, be that
mm,
person who's doing all the nice things, who's getting all the girls and all of that. But
mm,
it's also very hard to just stick to your studies. And also I feel
mm,
like another important thing is the friends that you associate yourself with. I feel like if your friends are high performers,
mm.
you're also bound to become a high performer. So I think that's a very important one, especially in the community you surround yourself with
Mm,
at school. I think it plays a very important role in terms of doing well.
mm.
And also I think, yeah, man, like if you don't understand anything, ask questions. There's never a dumb question. I remember I used to raise my hand like a lot
Yeah,
in high school, like so yeah, it's one of those things. I think some of them, they already know these things. Like, respect your teachers, like, ask
mm.
questions. Yeah, man. Like, but I feel like the most important one is your circle. Yeah, your circle has to
Respect.
be hard workers, and
Mm.
yeah, the people you associate yourself with are the ones that are ultimately going to push you to greater heights. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay, so
Yeah.
I want us to shift to university, right? Like,
Okay.
can you just briefly tell us like what university you went to? How did you get into it? And what is your first impression when you got there and stuff? How was it? How
Um,
was it from high school? In your
yeah.
opinion?
Okay. So I went to University of Cape Town, UCT. And actually the first time I went to UCT was during that week night away, from Kutlwano in grade
Mm,
12. So we just had a small visit to UCT there. I got to see it a bit. But yeah, I think what sort of like persuaded me to want to go to UCT was the fact that, like, I think you were already that side. So I was like, yeah, no, at least I won't be alone. That's number one.
yeah.
Number two, I just didn't like the area that other universities were around, especially
Oh,
like Veds being around Bram. It's way too busy. I didn't like that. Um, yeah, and I feel like those were only my two options. It was either Veds or UCT.
let's
So
see.
yeah, and then the decision was sort of like based mainly on those two reasons. You were that side, And the area that UCT was, well, I felt like it was better compared
Mm.
to the VEDS area. And yeah, man, like, and also I think it was that thing of there was that we were always being told that yeah, UCT is number one in Africa and all of those things. So it's of course I wanted to associate myself with the best university, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think yeah, I would say those are my three reasons why I chose UCT. And
I,
in terms of mhm.
yeah. No, no, no. I want you to finish. I want you to finish.
Yeah,
I'll come
and,
to
yeah,
that.
and in terms of how sort of like the shift happens from high school to uni.
Mm,
I think for me, because of like I wasn't too shocked when I got to university. And I feel like
mm,
maybe the reason for that is I felt like the environment wasn't too rushed. Like I felt like yeah, like I felt like I had time to sort of like adjust. You get me?
mm.
Like I had time to adjust to the environment, get used to it a bit. Um, and I think also the thing that made me adjust well was the fact that like I think from high school I was just really focused on my studies and everything. And even
Yeah.
I think the first 6 months of university, I think also that's what I tried to do. Instead of like, because there are
Mm,
so many things that can entice you to say, yeah, no, come,
yeah.
come and get me, you know. So, but I
Yeah.
just tried. I just made it a point that like in the first 6 months at least, let me just try to
Mm,
focus on my studies and just to test the waters to see what's really happening here. And yeah, I think that's
mm.
what that's what it kept me away from all the troubles outside, you know. So yeah, I think that's what helped me
Yeah.
acclimatize.
I
Mm.
feel like when you guys came in, you guys came in
Mm.
what? In
In
20,
2018.
2018. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the environment was sort of like better for you guys in terms of like culture
Mm.
shock, like support
Mm.
systems and
Yeah.
all that. Like, it was better in a sense that, because when we went to UCT, like our group,
Yes.
when we went to UCT, like there wasn't a lot of UCT. There wasn't a lot of
Mm.
like guys from
From
our school,
home.
from home.
Yes.
Like so
Mm.
when you got there, you find that you are alone, or and
Yeah.
your friends like are doing different courses. So you don't, and you the fact that you stay at different what you call residences makes it
Residences.
even
Yes.
harder because you don't see each other that often anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Mm.
you sort of like have to now make new friends and courses
Yeah.
chowing you. You don't know who to talk to. You're there dying in
Nah,
silence.
I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, I feel like also
So,
what helped in my year was the fact that
yeah.
like my squad from high school, we sort of like all went to UCT,
You see,
and
that's
most of,
nice.
and all of us were sort of like in commerce at
In
UCT, so
comments, yo,
we were
that's
sharing
that's proper.
classes, you know.
Mm.
So the bond continued from high school even to
Yeah,
university.
yeah,
Maybe that's also another reason why I was able to also adjust better to
yeah.
to the place.
That's
Yeah.
so important. That's so important, man. Yo, because I feel
Yeah.
like we suffered, bro. Yo. But it was the three of
It
us,
was
eh?
tough.
And the three of us went to different. Actually, we all
Courses.
started like together, and then the three of
Mm.
us, each and every one of us just went into their own thing, and then you find yourself just there by yourself with new people, and
Mm.
yeah, it was rough. I'm glad I'm done with
Yes.
that. Hey,
Yeah, it's over now.
yeah, that's great. Okay, so I want you to just briefly talk about like uh, you know I want you to give advice to guys that are at university, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like university is it can either make you or break you. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And I'm saying this because like guys that come from high school and they were good, with schoolwork and all that. They were getting high marks. And then you
Mm.
suddenly go to this new CET, you meet new people, you see all these beautiful hands there on campus.
Mm.
Your friends
Mm.
are going out, like, like there's pressure,
Yeah.
guys are dressing well. Like, how
Mm.
did you how did you deal with all of that? How did you deal with all of that and absorb it and still be able to do well at university and not be swayed by all of these outside
Outside
uh,
noise.
yeah
Yeah.
outside things that could distract you from your coursework and all that.
Okay. Hey, that's a very loaded question, man. Hey. But yeah,
Yeah, you can unpack it nimble by nimble. Yeah.
I would say like yeah, university it has a lot of things going on, you know. There are so many distractions. It's very easy to fall for all these other things, you know. But I think one thing that worked for me was I think I always tried to remember why I was there, you know. And I feel
Mm,
like just constantly asking yourself that question can sort of like help you a lot.
mm,
And I feel like that's what I was doing. Okay, like just remember why you're here, or ask yourself, why
mm,
are you
mm,
here?
mm.
Remember the situation back home, like when you left in
Yeah,
first year to saying, yeah, I'm going there to get a degree.
yeah,
Is whatever you are doing at that time, is it helping you get a degree, basically?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just that self-reflection. Of course, studying. I mean, like that one is
Mm,
a no-brainer. You have to push yourself. You also have to have friends that are sort of like going to support you. Because like I mean, the environment is very different. There
mm,
you move from high school with a class, maybe there were probably 30 of you in class, to
mm,
all of a sudden you are in class with like 100, 200
mm,
people.
mm,
You are even
All smart
scared to
people.
raise your hand.
Yeah,
All smart people, you know.
yeah,
People are asking questions. When they raise their hands, they're asking brilliant questions. And when you're thinking, yeah, my question is gonna be terrible. So you end up
yeah,
not raising your hand. Even if
yeah.
that's the case, then I mean there's still an opportunity to do consultations, ask after
Mm,
class.
mm,
Yeah, so I think just pushing yourself, doing the work,
mm,
trying to remember why you went there in the first place, try to remember the situation at home, try to um yeah, man, like just try to stay out of trouble. I mean, like all these nice things that we wanna experience at university, you
mm.
can still get a chance to experience them another time. And I'm not
Yeah,
saying don't have fun, you know. I'm not saying
yeah.
don't have fun. Do have fun, but know when to have fun and know when
Mm,
to stop having fun. You know,
mm,
around exam times, you can't be out and about doing whatever you wanna do. You have to be studying. You have to be pushing. Because
mm,
I mean, there it's very easy to fail, you know.
mm, mm,
It's
mm.
the lecturers aren't like teachers, you know.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
aren't like teachers. They are not going to say, hey, they're not gonna pull you to the side to say you are struggling, what's going on?
Mm,
They have 150 students to worry
yeah.
about. Actually, I don't think they're even worrying about them. They're just there to
Uh,
do their job, you know. So
uh,
the honors is on you to also push on your side, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I think for me that's what worked. Just trying to remember why I was there, constantly reminding myself of that and asking, like reminding myself of the situation at home and what I want to achieve, you know. So yeah, yeah, and
So
study, of course.
what study tips can you give guys at university to, you know,
Study tips. Okay.
yeah,
Uh
what
Study
technique
tips.
technique what techniques work for you best?
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, I would say, yeah, most of the time. because like the lectures are so quick. Like they can cover a whole chapter in 45 minutes or 50 minutes. So I think what really worked for me was um trying to do the work that we do in class on the very same day that we did it. Or if we're trying to stay ahead, just stay beforehand, because that also helps you to have more questions when you get to class and all of that. Hearing things for the first time in lectures also can be quite intimidating. So sometimes just studying ahead also helps, So it also helps because it's like you start thinking about things. Your thoughts are being provoked. You start having questions and you can ask in
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
And yeah, I think just if you can't do it before class, just try to do it on the very same day that you did it. I think that also helps a lot instead of leaving it to pile, because like it will pile very
Ish.
easily as well. So I think
Easy
that
flips.
was it's very easy to pile up. That's where you see people not or studying during weekends.
Yeah, yeah.
People who stay on top of their work, they don't really have to study during weekends.
Uh,
But I
ish.
mean, like if it's one of those weeks, then yeah, I think you don't have any other choice but to push over the weekend. I mean,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Mm.
Okay, so like I want to get into quantitative stuff now, eh? Your role. I want to talk more
Yeah.
about that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
can you just briefly touch on like how did you land the job? How did you land the job that you are currently working?
Mm.
That you're currently doing. I mean to say,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think at uni, I've just always been interested in markets. I've tried trading, charred me, so I left it. I was like, the only way to do this maybe is to do this professionally in my career. So
Oh, that,
um so yeah, that's why like I've always been interested in markets and just to understand like what drives our economies and all of that. So uh that's what made me choose to go into a bank, number one. Because I felt like, yeah, at a bank, that's where I'm at a great opportunity to land that job that I really want and to be doing the work that I'm interested in. Okay.
yeah. And can you just please? I forgot to ask you this, ne?
Yeah.
Please tell the viewers what course did you do at university? And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was meaning to ask you this, but I don't know
Yes,
how.
yes.
But yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay. Yeah,
please
because
tell them
actually it
because
was,
I feel like that's a very important. We can't leave that out.
yes, yes, yes.
Important piece of information. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll also link very well with what I'm actually saying right now
Sure.
about my work. So at university, I did a course called Bachelor of Business Science in Analytics. Um, so that one, it sort of like constitute the honors in statistics. So you do
Mm,
it's a 4-year degree, and in that 4 years, the fourth year you do an honors in statistics, but
mm,
the first 3 years you're sort of like doing most of your commercial subjects. You're doing your stats, you're doing your maths, you're also doing your computer science. So those
okay.
were sort of like the three um I think main subjects that I was doing at in the 3 years. And then in fourth year I was just doing my statistics honors.
Mm,
So after doing my honors, I then went to do my masters in risk management of financial markets.
okay.
So I did that with the AFM Institute. It was a 1-year master's degree. And during that master's, you were doing a minor dissertation. So we did some research into some of the stuff
Mm,
that is actually currently happening right now in my world of work. So
okay.
it's yeah, that's basically what I studied. And yeah,
Ah, that's nice. Nice, 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 nice.
yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
yeah. So like how is it? I want to understand how is it different like what you did now, how is it different
Mm.
to actuarial science? Because I know,
Mm.
like, those two, I think they are very closely related.
Yes,
The
yes.
course that you did,
So yes.
because
So
I used to see them, they were in the same, sort of like the same umbrella. They offered under
yes.
umbrella,
Mm.
under commerce, the
Yeah.
faculty of commerce. Yeah.
So analytics and stats, I think they are quite the same. So with analytics, you get two streams. You can
Mm,
choose to do the mathematical statistics route, or you
mm,
can do the applied statistics route. So if you
okay.
take the mathematical statistics route, it's very closely related to actuarial science because they
Mm,
are compulsory subjects, right? So almost every subject that we did in analytics was sort of like the actuarial science guys also did do that course, you
mm,
know.
mm.
I like to explain it simply by saying analytics is like actual science without the actual courses. You get.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, like
That makes sense.
it's you can, but also I feel like it's more flexible. It's not as structured as actual science.
Mm,
You can get to sometimes you get a choice to pick between certain subjects and leave out other subjects, you know. So it offers that flexibility compared to actual science whereby like it's already structured. There isn't anything else that you can do
mm,
besides
mm,
what they prescribe. You get.
mm, Ah,
So yeah, I feel like, but they are very closely related. They are
mm,
very
mm,
close.
mm, 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 mm,
Mm.
mm. So actuarial science is more like specialized.
It's
It's
more
more,
specialized. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Nah, so that's dope. That's dope. Okay, so you like when we started, you talked a bit about what is a market risk analyst. Is it market risk analyst
Yeah. Yeah, that's
or
correct.
as
Yeah.
okay, yeah, market risk analyst, right? So I
Mm.
just want you to just quickly talk about, like, you know, how is it, like, what basically what is it that you do at work?
What
You
I
understand?
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
like where like what field are you in? Like what is your role entailing at work, basically?
Yeah.
Like what are your KPIs?
I
What are
do.
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in the financial services. So I think as a market risk analyst, I'm a market risk analyst in CIB. So CIB stands for Corporate and Investment Banking.
Okay.
So corporate and investment banking, it has many business units. There's markets being one of it. And under markets, that's where we find traders. These are people that trade for the bank. They
Mm,
execute, they trade certain things, like certain
mm,
instruments. Some some are coming from client requests from outside, some are coming from just taking a view of the market, you know. So
mm,
it's so that's what the traders do under markets. And then what my rule is to say, okay, fine. The traders do what they sort of like get the money for the bank, right?
mm,
And then my role, because it's in risk, so
mm,
my role is in risk. So we sort of like manage the risk for the traders. So we work
mm,
very closely with the traders in a sense of we give them certain limits. We give them certain limits that they can trade within. We give them certain currencies, certain so there's a mandate that they can work with and work
mm,
around. So we are the ones that sort of like give them those restrictions to say you can't just do everything
mm,
because we saw what
mm.
happened in 2008 with the global financial crisis.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, People were just doing whatever they wanted to do and it
yeah,
didn't end
yeah,
well for markets, you
yeah.
know. So I feel like banks are very heavily regulated at the moment. So I think that's
Mm,
where my role becomes important because we have to we give these people a mandate to say, guys, you can only operate within these limits. You can operate, you're allowed to only trade up to instruments up to a certain year. You're allowed to only trade these currencies. You're allowed to, those type of things. So my role, I think on a day-to-day basis, what I do is it's very heavy on the reporting side. So we send reports to the traders so that they can also track their risk to see, okay, fine. Maybe, for instance, they wanna trade interest rates. So if they wanna trade interest rates, that report will be showing them that, okay, fine. Based on the limit that they have on interest rates, they've utilized maybe 80% of that limit. If they utilize 100% of the limit, it means it's not good, because now they'll be trading over and above what they are allowed to trade. So that's when we have breaches and all of that. So we just try to work with the traders closely for them to manage their risk. They must make money for the bank, but they must make it in ways that are allowed, in ways that are within the rules, in a way. So yeah, that's basically a high level of what I do.
That's
Yeah.
very interesting.
I mean,
Very,
there are
very
other things
interesting.
that I can get into, but hey, it's gonna become a lot.
It's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, that's very, very interesting, bro. Like, when you are explaining it right now,
Yeah.
in my head, I keep going to the example that I gave you in the beginning of like
Yeah.
business analysis. So in business
Yes.
analysis, there's like, so a business analyst, yeah, let me actually explain the difference between a process engineer and a business analyst. I actually
Yes.
wanted to do this in the beginning.
Mm.
Like the business analyst, I feel like is more like what you are doing.
Mm.
So they work, or business analysts work closely with the, what you call, coders, the guys that code.
Mm.
So
Yes.
the guys
Mm.
that code, they get the requirements that they use to design maybe a certain software or certain solution.
Mm.
They get them from a business analyst. A business analyst will say, we want a system that, looks like this, has these things, it must have these functions, it must have these requirements. Like they give those requirements to them, like these are the rules, it must have these rules, when
Yes.
when a customer does this must happen, those kind of things. You give them those kind of
Mm.
things and they design based on that.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very similar to what you guys do, where you
Yeah.
are like the middleman between uh, uh, I don't know, in this case, where
Yeah.
you guys get your mandate from, But in business
Yeah.
analysis, you get, like, a business analyst is like a middleman between the coders and the
The client.
the client.
Mm. Yeah.
It could be, yeah. In this case, the client could be internal, like
Mm.
someone in, maybe someone from
Mm.
another department within the business can say, we want
Yes.
a
Yeah.
solution like this. Then
Yeah.
they will talk to the business analyst. The business analyst will design, come up with
Mm-hmm.
requirements and give them to the computer science guys. And the computer science guys will then build a solution
Mm.
based on that. So
Yeah.
where do you guys get those where do you guys get your mandate from? That's what I'm trying to
Oh,
get
no,
to.
no.
Like, how do you
Mm.
actually, and also, number two,
Mm.
how do you then come up with these what you call,
Limits.
uh the limits? Yes, how do you guys come up with those
Okay.
limits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I feel like the mandate is basically coming from the higher ups. So from the board, it will go down to the executives and everyone. So I think we have board limits, and then from board limits, it goes down to
Mm.
so those are sort of like the highest levels of limits.
Mm.
And then from there it will go to the group limit. So the group as itself, like the whole company, it also has
Mm,
certain limits. And then from there, it will go down to like the different business units. Like I said, markets will have market limits. And
mm,
then from market limits, we'll have like desk limits. So desk limits, so that's where we operate. So as a market risk analyst, you get assigned a certain desk to manage. So I'm currently
mm,
looking under FX and the central funding desk. So those are
mm,
sort of like the central funding desk is giving us it's sort of like an internal team that provides
mm.
funding in the foreign currency. And then
Okay.
FX is like, okay, it's that's where you trade your spots, you trade your different currency pairs and everything like that. So those are the two main desks I look after. So those desks will also have limits, to say, okay,
Mm,
the traders who are trading in FX, we have these limits. And then from
mm,
those limits, all the desks will then be aggregated to form, okay, maybe the market's limits. And then from market limits,
mm,
it'll go up to say, okay, from markets, we also have other different business units, it will go up to the group limits, and then from there it will go to the board limits. So it's tiered like that in a way, you get.
mm, mm,
So um I mean, like, what will dictate uh how we set our limits is basically driven by how the desk or how the traders are going to conduct their business. So
mm,
the traders will talk to us to say, because actually every year we have an annual limit review. So an annual limit review is just basically saying, guys, how are you planning to conduct business in the next few months? And are you going to need more limits? Do you want us to increase your limits? Or maybe here you are looking to decrease your position so you don't really require more limits. So we can maybe look to decrease your limits here, but then maybe increase it somewhere else. You get so it's
mm,
basically just a conversation with the traders to see how they are planning to conduct their business in the next few months. And
mm,
then if they are saying, yeah, I'm looking to trade more into USD based currencies, then we might have to say, okay, fine, maybe let's take away from GBP a bit and allocate more of the limits into USD because
mm,
that's how the desk is planning to conduct their business. I mean, the US elections are coming up. Maybe that's something they can be looking to say, "Hey, I'm looking to increase my exposure to US or maybe decrease it. I don't know. So
mm,
it's through a conversation with the traders on the different trading desks to say, what's the strategy, guys? And that
mm.
strategy will then dictate what the limits are. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yo, that's nice. That's nice. Hey,
Uh,
no, I'm getting warmed up now. I'm getting
get
excited.
you.
Yeah, I miss that way, but I miss the financial sector so much, bro.
Oh, we
I
must
don't
pull
wanna like,
through.
eh?
We must pull through. We must pull through.
Ish. You don't get me wrong, engineering it's nice, bro. Like I don't wanna lie to you, but like I miss that. You know me, I like learning new things.
Mm,
you know,
mm,
that environment was very, very enjoyable for me. So like I do
yeah.
miss it a lot. Yeah, 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 bro. So okay. So I wanna talk about Tony. Like uh okay, so we talked about your role as a market what is it, market risk analyst, right?
Mm,
So yeah, and you explained that you guys work closely with the traders, and you give them
mm,
limits and all that. So I want to know, ne? I just want to know, like, where does the bank make its most, like, where does it make its most money? Money from which
mm,
department? Okay, so
mm,
maybe explain to us where does the money come from that you know that the traders are using? Where does the capital come from that the traders are using to you know to
mm.
to trade
To
and
trade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
to it? Or maybe, and then explain to me, because you know I love asset management. Like, explain to me, how
Oh,
is it different? Where do you guys work closely with them, or is it a different department? Like,
yeah,
what happens? And
yeah,
then which department makes more money? Asset
yeah,
management,
yes.
like investment side, or trading, or what's happening?
Okay. Yeah, with regards to the first question, um, what was it again?
Like, like, uh, uh, where do you guys get the money to trade?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. I remember it now. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I think so. The money that, so okay, put simply, right? This is how
Mm,
banks operate. Banks operate through loans and deposits.
mm,
So, me as Pheko, I go to a bank at a branch somewhere.
mm,
I go open an account. I say, guys, give me an account, give me a savings account. I want to start putting my money with you guys. And
mm,
then, I mean, me as Pheko, I have a job. I go there, I put my money. Maybe I save. I'm saving money there, or my money is just in the account. It's sitting there. So
mm.
that money that's in that bank, it's called a deposit
Okay.
to me as people, right?
Mm, mm, mm,
To the bank, that money is a loan, right?
mm,
So
mm, mm,
those are sort of like two sides of the same transaction,
mm,
right? And then so because banks get deposits, which are loans to them, for us to make money, we loan out that money as well. So we get deposits from the clients outside, and then that
mm,
money we loan it out to other people. So me down the line, maybe there's Tabo from the blockchain says I want a loan from Bank A. So if they say I
mm,
want a loan from Bank A, part of the loan money that they are going to give him, it's probably one of my deposits that I made in the
On
bank.
your deposit. Mm,
So, so how the bank makes money then is most of the money comes from um service, not service, but interest rate charges. So
yeah.
interest rate charges, you'd find that okay, because I put money at a bank, they are giving me interest. I'm earning interest on that deposit.
Mm,
But also when the bank loans out that same money, it charges interest to the person they're giving the loan to. But
mm.
you'd find that these interest rates, they're actually not equal.
So there's an
Because if the
arbitrage. The,
yes, there's a differential between these two interest
yeah,
rates.
yeah, yeah. That's where the
So
money. Okay. Yeah.
that's where the most of the money is being made. You know,
Mm,
like me, they would give me 2%, and then when they issue out a loan, they will charge 4%. So they are
mm,
making more money in that sense. Um, yeah, those are sort of like the semantics of how banks work. Like put
mm,
simply, that's where they make most of their money.
mm,
And what I just explained basically is getting a getting a deposit and making a loan. And when you are doing that, you are dealing with outside people. Yeah, like
mm,
you're actually dealing with entities. You're dealing with businesses. You're making loans to businesses. You're making loans to people, and
mm,
that we call credit risk. So credit risk is the biggest risk to any bank, right?
mm,
So
mm,
and from credit risk, that's where most of the money is being made. And then in my space, market risk, this is a risk that arises due to um, market factors. So market factors could be
wait, wait. Say that again. Credit risk. That's where what most what.
so credit risk. The credit risk is where most of the money is being made. And by that I just mean like it's they are dealing with outside people. Because I remember I
Mm,
just explained that most of the money is being made from the differential between the two
yeah, yeah,
interest
yeah.
rates,
Between the two. Yes, yes. Yes.
the ones that they charge you.
Mm-hmm.
And because you are dealing with people, loans and deposits, That's credit risk. So at any time, I can default on a loan. Tabo can default on his loan, and that's risky for the bank. At any time, I could say, I just want my money back. Me withdrawing my money at a bank, it's a risk for the bank. Why? Because it means they can now extend loans on the money that I had allocated to them as a deposit. So that's what I'm saying. That's the biggest risk for a bank. And then we have other risks like market risk, which is the one that I'm part of, and that one it's mainly due to movements in market factors. So your market factors could be your changes in interest rates, changes in exchange rates, and all of that. So it's market sentiment and all of the like those things. When they change, they sort of like when the market moves, there's risk that's generated for the bank. And then in terms of like your second question, in terms about which part of the bank makes the most money, I think, like I said, like most of the money is coming from loans and deposits. So it's coming from your loans, your deposits. So we call that what do you call it? Net. Okay, it's fine. I can't remember the term, but basically the bank making money from interest rates, that's the biggest generator of profit for any bank. I mean, because like actually think of it this way. There's retail, there's CIB, there's wealth. Those are sort of like the main clusters of most banks. For retail, that's where you get Tabo, you get Pheko, you get King, you get everyone going to deposit, taking out a loan at times. That's very volume heavy in terms of like banks have millions and millions of clients that put money with them at the bank, and they're giving interest rates to them. They're also charging interest rates to the loanees. So that's where most of the money is coming from. Whereas with CIB, they can be dealing with a limited number of clients, but the amounts that they are dealing with are sort of like quite huge. So retail side, small amounts because you are dealing with small clients.
It's volume,
but the volume is big. And then on the CIB side, your client base is very small, but the amounts you're dealing with are very huge. So it's
okay. Break that down. Like who's your clients under CIB? Yeah, who's your clients?
So under CIB, you have institutional clients. So those are you have corporates, you have the government, sovereigns. So those are sort of like corporates includes companies. Like, I mean, you can have you can have a partnership with Vodacom, for instance. That's some sort of partnership. That's a corporate. You can have a partnership with Eskom. That's a state-owned entity, SOEs. You can have you are also doing some dealings with the government itself or different governments outside South Africa. So that's also another way of that's a client as well, you get. But also another huge client for banks is the asset managers that you mentioned earlier. So the asset managers come into play in a sense of they don't have access to some of the instruments that the banks have access to, or they don't trade certain things that the banks trade. So in a sense of their client bases are very small, like it's compared to a bank which is operating with quite a large number of clients. So banks are regarded as the sell side. So meaning they sell products to clients and everyone. So a client in, like, let's say Eskom, for instance, is looking to raise capital. So if Eskom is looking to raise capital, where are they going to get the capital? They can get a capital from a bank, right? And for them to get capital from a bank, they will say, okay, fine, I'm going to issue a bond to you guys. No, what am I saying? So a bank will say, okay, fine, for you to raise this money, we we are going to we are sort of like going to you're going to sell us a bond, and then we are going to give you money. We are going to give you money for that bond. So that's capital injection into Eskom, right? But at the same time, because banks are not allowed to just hold open risk. So by open risk, I just mean that transaction, if you look at it, Eskom received money cash, but us, we received the bond. But what are we going to do with a bond? Although it's a liquid instrument, and by liquid, I mean it's traded a lot and everything, like you can easily sell it. We don't really want to have that. So that's an open position. We don't want to have that open risk.
So you're talking
what
about
was I saying?
open risk.
Oh yeah. So by open risk, I just mean solely because, like, if Eskom is looking for capital injection, they'll come to a bank to say, hey guys, we want cash. So a bank will say, okay, maybe issue a bond. When you issue a bond, the bank will buy that bond. And then when they buy that bond, they're giving Eskom cash. But the bank is receiving a bond in a way. But because on the side of the bank, they have just the bond. So in a way, and we don't want them to have open risk. So meaning the risk that we want them to have is basically zero. But we know it's not possible, right? So they have to then hedge that open position with another thing, with another transaction. And when they hedge that open position with another position, you'd find that maybe they will say, okay, fine, I'm gonna sell a bond to maybe internally, or I'm gonna face the market and sell it outside. And when we sell it outside, that's sort of like the main activity of a bank, to be selling products, So and the main buyers of these products are mainly asset managers, because they could be having a similar situation whereby they need to buy a bond, and for them to buy a bond, we as a bank, we need to sell a bond. So that's it. That transaction benefits both parties in a way, you get. So I think the main buyers, so the buy side, it's mainly asset managers and all of that, and then the sell side, it's mainly banks, because we are the ones that are selling the product.
Because asset managers are sitting on a large pool of money, right?
On a large pool of money, exactly.
They need to. I want you to explain. They need to spend that money on certain products, like
yes,
to be able to perform, to grow the portfolio and all that. How would, when you said something about they need to, you may find that they need to buy a bond. What is that? What does it mean? What does it mean when you say they need to buy a bond?
Okay, so them buying a bond, it's basically to say okay, wait, let me just think about this. So if they buy a bond, okay, so an asset manager might say, I need a bond. Why do I need a bond? Because, okay, fine, I feel like interest rates are gonna go up in the next coming months, right? So if interest rates are gonna go up in the next coming months, I don't want my money my money to be idling in where I have it, because like you said, they have large sums of money, and for them to perform, they need to generate income, right? And for them to generate income, if they take a view to say, hey, I think interest rates are gonna go up, because I feel
Mm,
like the sub is doing things and they're looking like they're gonna hike the interest rates. So
mm,
if they're expecting the sub to hike the interest rates, we're expecting higher interest rates. So they can say, hey, maybe let me get a bond. Why get a
mm,
bond? Because a bond, the way it's structured is in a sense of um if you buy a bond, you're going to receive coupons. So
mm,
coupons are sort of like it's not monthly payments, but it's semi-annual payments that you get. So you get two payments every year.
mm,
Um yeah, so with coupons, you're sort of like receiving interest. It's like
mm,
it's like getting paid for having a bond.
mm,
So you
mm,
sort of like it's so in the same way, think of a deposit. If you're holding a deposit, you get interest rates every now and
mm,
again. So a
mm,
coupon is the same thing. If you're holding
mm,
a bond,
mm,
you get
mm,
coupons. You get reimbursed for holding that bond, and
mm.
that's a way of them making money and sort of like trying to reach their profit targets. So yeah, I
That's
think that's why they would need that transaction.
nice, nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Great stuff, great stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, I want you to talk about your work hours. How are the work hours looking like
Mm.
in bank? Are
Uh,
they different to maybe other guys that are working in other financial institutions besides banks,
mm,
like
yeah.
maybe guys that are working in insurance or something like that, you know?
Mm. Okay. I think the working hours for me, they're quite okay. Like I'm still able to live my life. I'm still able to. I don't work over weekends.
Mm,
I rarely ever work after 5 p.m., Like for me to be sitting here with you on this interview at this time, I know other
yeah.
people are out there working at this time. They don't have time
So,
to be
yeah.
doing interviews at this time. So
Mm,
so for instance, your management
mm,
consulting firms and all of that, those
mm,
are the guys that are having long hours. You can also look at your investment bankers, your Goldman
yeah.
Sachs, like those kind
Yes.
of companies.
Mm,
Um, the working hours they are long. But for me, um, I think I'm quite fortunate enough because I'm working in risk, and the risk that I'm dealing with is market risk, and
mm,
markets are open from 9 to 5. They are open, and then at 5 they close. Like
nice,
because
nice.
the traders they can only trade within those
Yeah,
times. I can
yeah.
also do my work during those
Between,
times.
yeah, yeah.
So it's quite nice in that way. But I mean, some of the things you would have to follow the news. You'd have to, but it's not like work, 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 work. It's not like hectic. So it's they're
That's
they're they're
nice.
quite they're fine.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so what is the most enjoyable thing about your work, and then
Oh,
is the most challenging thing
mm.
about your work? Yeah.
I think the most enjoyable thing I would say for me, it's just excuse me. It's just learning about markets, man. Like I feel like like I said, I was always interested in learning more about this, like just to see um how things that are happening outside can affect what or the work I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, for example, like politics play a huge factor in the work I do.
Mm,
Um, uh, like we actually saw. some huge fluctuations during the SA elections
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the market, like such things. Like it's just
yeah.
to see how economy as a whole and how it functions um can sort of like affect what what happens in the markets and how people can
Mm,
make money. And I
mm,
think I think just learning about that, I think it's also constantly evolving. We have new regulations every now and again that we still need to learn about, implement. So it's quite fast paced as well. I feel like
mm,
it's a very slow, it's a very fast risk compared to credit risk in a way. Credit risk, I feel like it's very slow. Um, so yeah, man, like it's very fast paced. I enjoyed that about the work. And then in terms of what is quite challenging in the line of work I do is so in at my bank we have two systems. So with
okay.
these two systems, the traders use one system to
Mm,
execute their trades and everything, and then we have another system to manage the risk.
okay.
But because the trades that the traders put through, they also filter into our risk system. So it
Mm,
means the valuations on these two systems should be the same because they're containing the same trades. You get?
mm,
But sometimes that doesn't happen. You'd find that one trade on one system, its value is 2 million, but on
mm,
our system is 2.3 million. So
mm,
you then have to investigate the recon between these two systems. Like you'd have to independently try to value that instrument and see what value you come close to. Maybe you come close to one of the systems, you then have to investigate, okay, what's going wrong in this system?
yeah.
What's maybe one input is different from the other one, and that could be the fix. But I mean, the challenging thing about it is we're dealing with many instruments, so you have to understand the valuation of all these instruments and yeah, some of them are quite complicated, so it can get a bit tricky. So
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
mm.
that's the challenging part.
No, no, I feel like you guys are living, that series called Billions. I feel like you guys are, you are like living that in real life.
Exactly. But Billions is a
It's more of
it was a
hedging,
hedge fund
more of
guy.
a hedge fund.
Yes, 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 yes. So it's more on the buy side. He's more stressed
Uh,
about money for his investors there.
uh,
We are more worried about, making money for the bank, and selling products.
mm,
Yes. But
so,
I mean,
so
like,
hedge
yeah, I
fund,
think the
yeah,
line of
yeah. Okay, okay. So I wanted to ask, so you're saying hedge funds and asset managers are on the buy side,
yes,
and then
asset managers, mhm,
banks are on the sell side.
banks are on the sell side. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. And then investment bankers
Investment bankers, so those ones, they're also on the sell side. So
on the sell.
investment bankers, um, I wouldn't associate them I wouldn't call them banks necessarily because
Mm,
they're mainly involved with big corporations. Like it's just investment banking. Like
mm,
yeah, they are on the sell side. They sell products as well. They have corporate finance. They do deals. They do measures and acquisitions, leveraged buyouts, leveraged finance, like all those things. So it's all of that revolves around trying to sell something.
mm.
So yeah, it's they're on the sell side as well.
Nice, 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 nice. Okay, the $1 million question now. $1 million question.
Hey, which one is this one?
You
Which one
already
is
know.
this one?
What is the salary expectation, my brother? Salary expectation. We want to know.
Salary, expect- salary
What can we
expectation.
expect? Or what can somebody that's looking to go into, quantitative finance or, work as a market risk analyst, at a
Mm.
bank or anywhere, like how much are they looking at on a monthly basis?
Mm.
On a monthly basis, you can give us a range. You don't need to be specific, or you can
Um,
be specific if you want to.
yeah, I think on a monthly basis is a bit difficult because like there's so many deductions and that can be
Okay,
very
just per annum, per
depend.
annum.
Yeah,
Mm,
can be. So I'll give you a gross and an
mm.
annum gross, but I won't give you the amount you're expecting, but I'll try to give you a range.
Yeah.
I'll say maybe as a grad, I was earning more than 400,000
Mm,
per annum.
mm,
Uh yeah, it was more than 400,000. Um and then yeah, and then from then after, because you're a grad for like 2 years if you choose to be. But
mm,
for me, I was a grad for like a year and 2 months. And then
mm,
after that, I went permanent to be a market risk analyst. So
mm,
from then, you then get a jump. You then get a jump from you are no longer a grad to
mm.
you're now a permanent employee.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment, it's above 650,
Hey,
so
what?
so you can work around how much.
Nah, 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 nah. Above how much? Ooh,
Above 600, 650. I think that's a good.
Ay. I
So
mean,
yeah.
I'm going into, I'm going into finance now. Eh? I know it.
Yeah.
My light is going down, bro. And
Is
you,
it?
you know, I don't have a light in this room. You know that
Mm.
I have to. I don't know.
Mm.
You can still see me though? Eh?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Come on, six. Mm,
So yeah,
What are the qualifications? What do they need for you to get it there?
they need STEM, bruh. They need STEM. So your science, technology,
Really?
engineering, maths.
So guys in engineering, you have guys that work in there
Mm,
that did engineering. I mean,
mm, mm.
you,
I mean,
bro.
who's that? You remember that dude who used to stay at Makwati?
Yeah,
He did
yeah.
engineering. Yes, so and I work with him in the team. Yeah,
Mm.
so as
Did
long as you did something that's very quantitative, technical, I mean, yeah, you qualify.
mm,
So as long as it's STEM, science, technology, or computer sciences, and all of that,
mm.
um, yeah, engineering, and then a maths degree, anything
do
that's mathematical.
do you have to do anything over and above like
Uh-uh,
engineering or like
uh-uh.
ah
You don't
ah
have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. But I mean, like, as someone who's
they train
coming
do they
from,
train
yeah,
sorry
they train. As someone
mm.
coming from engineering background and straight into market risk or something along those lines, I feel like you'd have to convince them that you're really interested in that space and maybe must have
Mm,
done something along those lines, to show that you are really keen on
mm,
learning about that. So it's all about the interests. How much are you interested in that certain
mm,
discipline?
mm.
So, but anyone who's in STEM can get it. Yeah.
Nice, bro. Nice,
Mm.
nice. Nice, 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 nice.
Yeah.
I know that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And okay, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, hey man, my light is gone. Dark city now.
Yeah, I can
What
see
what book?
stuff. Hmm?
What books are you reading, bro?
What
Currently?
books am I reading?
Mm.
So actually right now I'm reading this other book. It's called Da Vinci Code.
Da Vinci Code.
Um,
Mm.
yeah, I actually got this book from one of my colleagues at work. It's a very interesting book.
Mm.
But I've only just started reading it like a
Mm.
few days back. So I'm on chapter 2 of it now.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I
What's
think
it about?
I still haven't gotten the story yet, but I feel
Mm.
like where it's going is, um, there were these two people, not two men. There were, the Louvre Museum in Paris.
Mm.
So there's this famous, the one that has the Mona Lisa, man. The one that has the
Oh,
Mona Lisa is in
yeah,
Paris.
yeah.
So there's that museum. I think there were people that were working in that museum in the book. Um, and they had this sort of like secret that has been kept for ages, and it's been passed from one person to the next, one person to the next. And those are the people that sort of like care and look after that museum. So the way the book starts is there's this person who kills those people, and these people uh, were not able to pass on the secret, and all of them were killed. And they are the
Mm.
only ones who know the secret. So
Mm.
I think what the book sort of like is going to go into is maybe trying to encrypt what these
Mm.
people are keeping a
Yeah.
secret. Or
Mm.
what are they keeping a secret? Because actually, before they all died, they were passing a message to the person who was killing them. But the message that they were passing was a wrong message. So this person thinks he has the information, but it's
Mm.
actually the wrong information.
Hey,
So it's a
hey, hey, hey.
it's a very interesting book. I think I just need to finish read it more and see how it goes.
The Da Vinci
Yeah,
Code.
the Da Vinci Code. Yeah,
Ah, that's nice. Nice, nice. And then favorite book of all time?
favorite book of all time.
Mm.
Hey,
Or book recommendation. Just the book recommendation. Doesn't need to be favorite one of all
hmm.
time.
A book recommendation. I would
For like
say
mm,
The Power of Now. It's
the power of
by
now.
The Power of Now. It's by Eckhart Tolle.
The power.
So
The
it's
power.
sort of like a spiritual book.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, I feel like the concepts in there are quite, um, are quite important. Like it's
you said it's
something
what?
that
Who?
the
Echo?
power Eckhart Tolle or something. Yeah, it's
Echo.
Eckhart Tolle. Mm,
Okay. Okay, sure.
mm.
Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah, it's about mindfulness, spiritual awakening, all those things.
Mm,
It's a very powerful book. I feel like everyone should read that book.
mm,
And I feel like one of the key lessons I've taken from that book is um just as people we think, but I feel like we're just thinking for the sake of thinking.
mm,
Like not many of us are able to hear our thoughts as they come into our minds and see them, like
mm,
hear them, see them. So that book is sort of like encourages us to be mindful, to watch the thinker. So watching the thinker means just just watch when you're starting to think of something, try
mm,
to try to try to try to see the what is this? Try to see the patterns of your thoughts,
mm.
because from there you'll be able to, then know when you think of certain things, why are you thinking of certain things? Where are they coming
Yeah.
from? That could be, like you'll be more mindful of yourself. You'll be more aware. You'll know yourself in a way. You
Mm,
you like, and I think the question maybe I can ask you is like, are you able to stop thinking but still be conscious? Like, because I feel like all of us, when we stop thinking is when we sleep. Yes,
uh.
we stop thinking when we sleep, but when we
Mm,
are sleeping, we are unconscious.
mm,
So I think that the author he asks the question to say, are you able are you able to stop thinking? Is it
oh,
possible for you to say do you have an off button basically? Do you
yeah.
have an off button to say, okay, right now I just want my mind, I just want to be at peace. I don't want to think of anything. Are you able to
Mm,
do that? Even the
mm,
thought of saying I don't want to be thinking of something is still a thought. But are
mm,
you
mm,
able to just remove all of that noise in your head and have
mm,
nothing? Be empty.
mm, mm,
If you
mm,
can't do
mm.
that, then yeah, he's saying, yeah, we're still lacking mindfulness. And yeah,
Yo, so it's like the power of being present,
the power of
like
being present, the power of
of being
now. Like,
present. I
exactly.
I understand. I
Mm,
understand.
mm.
Yo, now I'm definitely gonna check it out because I love spiritual books, man.
Yes, yeah.
You know my favorite book of all time. Eh?
What is it? Rich Dad.
No, no, not Rich Dad. Rich Dad is not. It's not that spiritual. It's a practical book. That one. The Alchemist
Oh,
by
yes, yes.
yeah, yeah. The Alchemist. Yo, that book, man. Ay, yeah, yeah. That's a
It's
nah.
a proper book.
Like when you talk about
Funny enough.
spiritual, yeah,
Mm,
that's why I'm actually interested in this one because I love spiritual books. So I'm definitely gonna check it out.
mm. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, actually, I haven't read The Alchemist, but maybe I'll give it a
really.
try. Mm-mm.
I thought you had.
I haven't.
Or you read the Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah,
Yeah, I bid as well. I didn't
I
finish
did.
it.
Mm,
Mm.
mm, I know. Away, my
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for joining us
All the
today, man. That was a very insightful interview slash conversation
mm,
slash chat. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for shedding the light. Part of the reason why I wanna or I do these kind of videos, and I'm actually starting now is that I want to inspire guys that are still in high school, guys that are in university, to
Mm,
say, we don't all need to be rappers. We don't,
mm.
there's other things out there to do. We don't
Yes, yes,
all need
yes,
to
yes.
be amapiano stars, you
Definitely. Yeah.
like following the school path can still lead to success. You know what I mean? There's so
Yeah.
many, I want to shed light on different avenues,
Mm,
career that one can take, whether you're
yeah.
in university or whether you're in high school, you know what I mean? Just to give
Mm,
you a broader perspective of what's out there. You understand?
yeah. Mm, okay.
Oh,
No, thanks a lot for having me around, man. It was a good talk. Yeah. And also, like, I just want to commend you on the work you're doing there for the channel.
thanks.
So, yeah, no.
Thanks, my
Yeah.
brother.
No,
Hello, have a good night's sleep. I know you probably wanna.
hey,
You're
man,
probably super tired right now.
I'm tired, but hey, I'll see. I'll probably just watch Netflix a bit and go to
Yeah,
sleep.
yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
nothing like a good one episode just before you sleep.
Just one episode, man. I'll try
Just
to
one
squeeze it
episode sleeps too
in.
much.
Exactly. So, but yeah,
Put you
no.
to sleep.
Huh?
It'll put you to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay, my bro.
All right. Anne. Love you long time, bro.
Always.
Thanks for the chat, man.
Always. Same here, bro. Same here.
Uh,
Thanks for the chat. Chat. Keep well,
yeah.
man. We'll chop,
Likewise.
yeah, we'll chop it up.
Ciao, bro.
Each other.